Hello ladies, gentlemen, and gamers alike. This is Cody here from Let's Play Station, here to give you my final thoughts and review for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, letting you know if you should skip it, try it, or buy it. If you like the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Tell us why you did in the comments down below, and while you're at it, why not subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always notified when the next upload will begin. With that said, guys, let's jump right into the review, starting with you play as Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan who survived Order 66. You try to lay down low and live a simple life as a construction worker of sorts on the world of Braca. When you are suddenly found out to be a former Jedi, the Empire starts hunting you down, and you barely escape with your life thanks to Cere and Grease, who show up to come and save you at the last minute. As you interact with both of them, you find out that Grease is a snarky pilot, and Cere, a former Jedi who have come to hunt down a holocron which has the location of Force-sensitive children. They explain that the Empire is also after it, and that those children, the Jedi Order, and the future of the Order as a whole is in danger of being killed and wiped out if the Empire finds it before they do. You agree to join them, and along with your lovable BD-1, go on a journey to save the children and the Jedi Order. Overall, I love the story of this game. It hooks you in with an incredibly intense and effective first hour and never lets you go. It has memorable and lovable characters whom are a joy to be around and interact with, amazing villains with understandable motivations, and they all feel like real people who have all had rather hard and tragic events happen to them but have all dealt with the tragedies in their own ways. Cere is wise if conflicted with imbalance, Grease is lovable, sarcastic, and lighthearted if distant, and Cal is hopeful, somewhat naive, and is coping with past trauma that you get to see him work through. You truly see him become not only a better character, but see him become a true Jedi Knight, no longer seeing things as black and white, but truly making decisions based on the welfare of everyone around him, and seeking to truly understand everyone by the end of the game. Lastly, the Night Sister, whom is the main villain, is very sympathetic while also being incredibly threatening and evil. I have no issues with the story. It has great pace and memorable moments abounding throughout the whole journey, not to mention the cutest droid ever in BD-1, whom I severely want a statue of. Next up, we have graphics and sound. I won't spend too much time here as the game, simply put, looks, feels, and sounds like Star Wars. There are so many details and love put into every world and into every track of music that it always fits the game perfectly. You feel the peace of Bogano, you feel the wild of Kashyyyk, the nightmare of Dathomir, and the magic of Ulam, along with other worlds. Lastly, the voice acting is superb and every actor truly gives their all. There is, simply put, no weak ends to the game in this department, and I have no complaints. The presentation when running properly is fantastic. The game really feels dynamic and alive in its combat, cutscenes, and exploration when running properly and smoothly. Sadly, this game has a ton of performance issues, including frame rate drops, freezing, texture pop-in, and glitches abounding. This is very disheartening because it really does hold the game back and is truly one of my only big complaints with the game. The game does run smooth during the beginning and end of the game very well, but has a lot of issues among all the worlds you explore, with Bogano being the worst in terms of these issues for me. Again, it is really the only issue I have with the game, but it is such a huge issue that is sure to ruin the experience for some players at worst, and at best make the game look less professional than it should be for being a AAA release game on the market. The only upside I can mention to these issues is that the game has been given a lot of free updates, patches, and even some free downloadable content for players, which is definitely a step in the right direction. I loved the combat and controls for this game. Every movement, ability, and fight really feels like a lot of love, care, and detail went into it. The game starts out simple, giving you a single-bladed lightsaber and one force ability. Eventually, you will have 3 lightsaber fighting forms, 3 distinct and useful force abilities, and many combat options for different styles of play. The game blossoms the more it opens up as the game moves forward. Lastly, the game keeps you constantly engaged due to the fact that every fight must be taken seriously and you have to constantly pay attention in order to block, parry, dodge, or hit, and must use force push, pull, slow down, or deflect wisely and at the right times. The combat has a lot of strategy while also still being very approachable. The button layout is seamless and natural. The game never at any point overwhelms or overcomplicates the controls, truly making the goal of the game to use the simple controls and concepts in order to string together combos and effectively take down each enemy. The game also does an amazing job at truly making each enemy a threat while not overwhelming you. Each enemy has distinct strengths and weaknesses that can be exploited for the greatest effect in combat. Lastly, and most importantly, the boss fights are the true highlight of the game, with the lightsaber fights being the most challenging, rewarding, and fun fights of the game. Overall, the gameplay is the best feature of the game and truly makes you want to master it. I found myself never wanting to put the game down and always wanting to play the next fight. It is by far the reason to get or to try this game. Overall, the game for me was around 20 hours to beat, which to some like myself is completely acceptable and for others is not enough length for full price. This game does have some things to bring you back to play again, but not much. The game has the typical collectibles, customization, multiple difficulty settings, and trophies to unlock, but lacks anything else aside from a few side bosses that you can miss on your first playthrough. The side bosses would be a great reason to go back if they weren't just tougher reskins of enemies you fight in the world. The game doesn't have much to give you for beating the game either, lacking a New Game Plus mode which in my mind would have greatly enhanced the replayability of the game. Overall, your desire to replay the game is merely going to come down to your love of playing the game. For me, I could see myself playing this game again many times over, but I am also a huge Star Wars fan, so it obviously does give me more of a desire to go back and play it. Overall, the game is fun and fantastic, but it doesn't do much to try and get you to come back and play it over again, aside from the fun that you had the first time playing it. Overall, I loved Jedi Fallen Order. Its engaging and moving story, along with some fantastic characters and the best combat in any Star Wars game, truly makes it a marvel for any Star Wars fan or gamer. It's a blast to play, and I loved every minute of the game. With that said, it does lack due to performance issues and a lack of replayability. With that said, I still have to give it my rating of buy it. The game is simply an experience that I feel everyone should experience, especially Star Wars fans, and is worth buying and owning. I'd recommend purchasing the Deluxe Edition, which comes with a lot of cool extras, including behind-the-scenes style documentaries. Overall, I feel this game is an experience you won't soon forget, and I know that I can't wait to play it again. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have loved discussing this wonderful game with you, and as always, this is Cody from Let's Play Station, and I'll see you guys next time.